What is your American dream?
My American dream is to have a combination of living in an urban environment with a lot of culture and beautiful things, but also being able to be around nature.
As someone who's not a Native American, the dream was to come here and do art and be creative and do it at a high level and have it seen by everyone out there, and it's definitely coming true.
I just want to do what I love and be able to make a living off of that.
American dream is like free, like everybody free, and then everybody friendly.
The American dream was to just come to the United States for a better and greener pastures, and I did achieve that.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is May 2nd. Wow, 2022. Flying by.
It really is.
At the speed of light. Jonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, how are you?
I'm great.
Yes. Very blue today. Looking
good.
Yeah,
Yes. Starting to brighten up. Spring is here.
Yeah, I like it. How was your weekend? Tiring.
Bar mitzvahs all weekend.
And it was not your bar mitzvah.
And it wasn't mine.
So you couldn't enjoy it. You had to work them, right?
I had to work them. How was your weekend?
Very nice. But I was not invited to any bar mitzvahs. At least you could have invited me to one.
You wouldn't have wanted to go.
Well, probably not. All right, let's say hello to the squad. Elizabeth. Wait a second. No. Kavar
Harris was this close.
I just noticed it. Kavar Harris, the number 2 comment on Facebook, but the number 1 comment on YouTube. He was very close to winning them all.
Kavar Harris, you were so close.
You know what that's like? That's like almost winning the lottery, but not.
Oh no, that's
10 times worse.
Yeah, that's 10 times worse.
That's like 10 times worse. Like, oh my God, if it was an 18 instead of a 16, I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah, no,
that would be worse, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's say squat up to everybody. Yo, Elizabeth Francis, squat up. Kavar Harris, what they say, close but no cigar.
Yeah.
Pape Samuel, how are you? Vitalis Asugu, squat up. Jessica Levy, my dear, squat up. Willie L. Williams, Joan Ambitious Powell is watching. Yo. Okabe. Unazi. I lost my permanent resident card. What do I do? If you lost your permanent resident card, file an I-90. There's a $540 filing fee. One of my paralegals said, Brad, you've been telling everybody it's a $545 filing fee for about 5 years. Mm-hmm. It's $540. She set me straight. I'm terrible with filing fees. Never ever listen to me about filing fees.
I mean, but can't you get that information online?
Of course, yeah.
I know,
right. The paralegals all do it, right? They pay the right fees for the clients.
Got you.
Yeah. I just keep telling the clients it's $545. But it's $540. That's $540. And it's a very simple thing. You just look it up.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I have like a mental block with filing fees. It's weird. All my life. So I was never a math major. Listen,
you do everything else great,
yes, so
that's all that matters.
All right, yeah, so it's file an I-90, and it's a $540 filing fee. Who else we got here? Carol the Tiger, squad up. Therese Slater saying blessings, Uncle Brad and squad. Denise Johnson Green, squad up. How are you? Jewel Delph joining us as well. Yo, let's see what's going on YouTube. Kavar Harris, number 1 on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't want to rub it in, but he was number 2 on Facebook. Westman, squad up, but I just did. Westman, squad up. Paulette, squad up. Alcia Stone saying squad up. How are you? Anu Chandra saying squad up. Danny Boy, Mr. Tusk, all joining us as well. Yo, take it away.
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. I need you guys all to put in your questions in the comment section right now. So during social media check-in, we can answer all of those. And also, please share these videos on all social media platforms. So whatever you're watching on right now, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, click on that little share button and send it to every and anybody, because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines, including the news that a bipartisan group of senators have started meeting to discuss how to revise the U.S. immigration system and which immigration bills could pass the Senate.
Da, 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 da.
Oh,
It's back.
Yes, it is.
Oh boy, we're going to be talking about it now for the next 3 months.
I know.
They better not disappoint us this
I
time.
hope not. I really hope
Yeah.
not. And of course, we always love to start our week with fuzzy Monday stories about our animal friends, like a group of Paw-Cassos. I like that.
Paw-Cassos.
Paw-Cassos. Not
Paw-Cassos.
Yes, not
Like
Picassos. Paw-Cassos.
Like you have a paw, but it's a Paw-Casso.
Picasso, exactly. And they're definitely raising money for a great cause. So it's super, super fuzzy. Loved it.
And you can always call us. You can always call us at 1-800-529-5465. Our lines are open right now for our show. 1-800-529-5465. If you call right now, you will get on our show to ask me your immigration question. If you wait about 20 minutes, I can't guarantee you. But we do have open lines right now. 1-800-529-5465. International, you can call +1 212-227 8933. It's also the number to the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, of which I'm the president. It's the same telephone number to get on our show as it is to call our office. And later in the show, I'm going to be speaking with James Lamprey, the creator of online cooking forum Fun Foods.
Man.
Yes, about the creative recipes he posts that people can make at home, and how his passion for travel and culture led him to his current career as a social media influencer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right, you ready to schmooze?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So just like you said at the top of the show,
Yeah.
a bipartisan group of senators, they have started to meet again, according to multiple news sources, following years of failed attempts to do what? Pass immigration reform by year end. Senate Judiciary Chairman Richard Durbin of Illinois has met with panel member Senators Alex Padilla, a Democrat, Tom Tillis, a Republican, John Cornyn, also a Republican, on Thursday to discuss which immigration bills they think both Republicans and Democrats can get behind and pass. Now, they discussed several topics, according to these news reports: changes for farm workers, perhaps the DREAM Act, also perhaps getting rid of huge backlogs for people waiting for green cards, dealing with age-out children who age out, turn 21 because of these backlogs and then fall off of cases. We talk about it all the time. What's the major changes you'd like to see in immigration law? Almost everybody,
shorter times,
everybody always says shorter times. So that's what
siblings.
that's right, and that's what they're talking about right now. Now, it comes less than a year since Biden and the Democrats failed to push through, just with Democratic votes, the immigration reform bills that Biden wanted to pass. Remember, there was 2 senators who would not go along with it. Manchin and Sinema. Manchin from West Virginia, Sinema from Arizona, and it failed by 2 votes. Now, all of the senators are stressing that these are early stages, but they have expressed some sort of encouragement that they are talking again about immigration reform. Senator Padilla said, "We put a lot of time and effort into last year trying to find a way forward, and while the participants did not nail down specifics, they did make a commitment to resume these conversations in earnest." Now, Senator Tillis, who has spearheaded legislation to revive certain unused green card slots, described the conversation as an organizational meeting to talk about some of the bigger concepts that we feel like are pretty important to be baked into anything that we can pass, both Republicans and Democrats can get behind. Political divisions are still at the border. I can tell you right now what the deal is. Okay, you don't need to be a genius. Okay, give the Republicans border security, give the Democrats immigration reform, the different amnesty programs, lesser waiting times for people waiting for their green cards. There is a deal to be had.
Right.
Now, Senator Cornyn said his message at Thursday meeting was that until we deal with the Title 42 issue, and that's the issues at the southern border, which he clarified meant replacing it with border controls, it's not going to be possible to move forward on other things. It's also possible that they can come up with something in stages. If you do this at the border, then we do this. When this happens at the border, then this happens. It's possible that's the way the deal could work as well. We don't know. But Senator Cornyn, he's a very, very conservative senator, by the way. He's not a pro-immigration senator that says, yeah, I want, I'm for family unity, I'm for amnesty, I'm for more. He's not that.
Right.
He's keep America white senator. But he described the conversation as a very candid and useful discussion where they talked about the politics of this and the challenges we've had in the past dealing with immigration. The Texas Republican also said that the impending rescission of Title 42 could give Congress a sense of urgency to do something. So perhaps this whole thing with Title 42 kind of throws a curveball in there, and maybe senators and congressmen can get together and say maybe we can actually do something, pass some sort of immigration reform. Now, Senator Cornyn ended the press conference or his quotes with the media by saying, I've been here for a while now in the Senate, and we've never failed to fail when it comes to immigration. That is certain. Okay, since I have been an attorney, graduated law school in '93, I can tell you for certain that Congress has never failed to pass immigration reform. It is 100% accurate statement. So Senator Cornyn says, so I'm hoping this time is different. We don't have the specifics yet. If anything passes, it's going to happen towards the end of the year. So things will start to percolate. We'll see how it goes.
I already feel like we're going to get a lot of questions like, any updates?
Well, I just told you the updates I know. I just told you the updates that I know. And by the way, yesterday, Jonathan, was May Day, May 1st, also known globally as International Workers' Day. Yeah. Yesterday, people from across the globe, they demonstrated to celebrate working class contributions and rallied for better labor rights, immigration overhauls, and other causes around social and economic justice. In Foley Square, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, she spoke at a rally championing immigrant labor. She demanded a full path to citizenship for immigrants, telling the crowd, we are fighting for workers because workers are fighting for us. But it's not just here in the United States, it's all over. In France, demonstrators staged more than 200 marches and protests across the country. Far-left protesters used the day to exercise their opposition to President Macron's new plan to raise France's retirement age from 62 to 65. I will not be retiring when I'm 65.
I know that.
They'll find me. I'm going to drop dead at my chair in my office at 95. That's my retirement.
That's the retirement.
When I go to heaven. In Turkey, in what's known as the Asian side of Istanbul, there's do you know that in Turkey? It's the Bosphorus River goes right through Istanbul.
Okay.
And on one side of the Bosphorus is Asia. On the other side of the Bosphorus River is Europe.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Turkey is kind of like the bridge between Europe and Asia. Yeah, so on the Asian side, it's where the continents end.
Okay.
On the Asian side of Istanbul, thousands of May Day observers gathered as part of a demonstration organized by the Confederation of Progressive Trade Unions of Turkey. And even in India, trade unions held rallies in multiple cities. It's a day for workers.
Yeah.
It's a day for social rights. And it's been around for quite some time, since the 1800s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And meanwhile, May also marks Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Yeah, which celebrates the histories of Americans hailing from across the Asian continent. And Cynthia Choi, a co-executive director for Chinese for Affirmative Action and co-founder of Stop AAPI Hate, says the month is a time to speak out, share stories, debunk myths about Asian communities. But it's not only time to celebrate, but it's also time to celebrate Asian culture and diversity. She told NPR News, this is a celebration of our history, of our culture, and all the different ways in which our community has really demonstrated that we're not only here to stay, we are part of the fabric as part of this country. Now, the legislation to annually designate May as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month references two dates, May 7th and May 10th. May 7th, 1843, that marks the arrival of the first Japanese immigrants to the United States. And May 10th, 1869, or they call it Golden Spike Day, recognizes the completion of the first transcontinental railroad in the United States, which had significant contributions from Chinese workers. Yeah, the Chinese workers were mostly the workers who built the railroads that connected the East Coast to the United States of America to the West Coast.
Wow.
And actually, that it was connecting the railroads that allowed travel between East Coast through the Midwest all the way to the West Coast that actually made the United States what it is.
Wow.
It was done by Chinese immigrants. And they were actually experts. The hardest part of building the railroad was getting through the Sierra Nevada mountain range, because they had to blast. They had to blast through the mountain. The railroad doesn't go over the mountain. You know, it's not like one of those, she'll be coming over the mountain when she comes. They went right through the mountain, and the Chinese immigrants were apparently, according to the history books, I wasn't there, but according to the history books, they were experts at blasting through the mountains, and that's why they were brought to the United States. And I'm going to tell you a quick immigration story about all of this. What were you going to ask, Jonathan?
No, I was going to say that kind of makes sense with them and the railroads, because when I went back to Ethiopia in 2019, there were so many Chinese people there, and I was asking everybody, like, wait, why are there so many Chinese people there? And it's like a lot of them coming, and they're building like all the railroads and stuff out there too.
They're very knowledgeable about that, even going back 150 years ago. Now,
so it's still the same too.
Now there were over, I think, I don't know how many Chinese worked on the railroads, but tens of thousands of Chinese were brought to the United States and worked on the railroads. At that time, this is the time right after the American Civil War. There was no immigration laws. If you made it to America, you're here. There was no immigration custom enforcement. There was no immigration nationality service, which turned into USCIS. There was nothing. You showed up. You're here. Guess what? You're in America.
Yeah.
Okay. But the number of Chinese that came to build the railroads, there was a huge backlash by Americans. And it was the first immigration backlash.
Why is it? Because they were taking jobs?
Well, because they look different than
white people.
White people. So in May 6th, 1862, was the first immigration laws ever passed.
Wow.
So I learned this in law school.
Wow.
The Chinese Exclusion Act, and it barred all Chinese people, the entire nationality of Chinese people, from entering the United States. They were banned.
Wow.
No, you couldn't come no matter what if you were Chinese. And that was between 1882 all the way to 1943.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were banned for almost 60 years.
A long time.
Yeah. Now, do you know, it was up until recent time, it was the only law or rule or regulation ever passed in the history of the United States that banned an entire nation and culture. Up until when?
Oh, Trump?
Trump. Pumpkin.
Oh, man.
Pumpkin was the second president. Chester A. Arthur. I think it was Chester A. Arthur. I want to say it was Chester A. Arthur, but I could be wrong. Was the president who signed the Chinese Exclusion Act. And the United States, in 150 years of immigration law, never banned another nation or a nationality until Trump, with all those proclamations.
So I'm thinking he literally did all this just to be in the history books. Like.
Yeah, according to your notes, the railroad stretched from West Coast to East Coast. 15 to 20,000 Chinese immigrants were a major part of its construction. In there, so that's kind of why they celebrate in the month of May.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I've talked about. I was actually, comparatively. I want to say comparatively happy to see some of the new statistics that came out from TRAC, which is a research institute at the Syracuse University, and they monitor and give out all the statistics on what's happening with immigration detentions. And I've always said there's a cheaper way than putting somebody in jail.
Yes.
And that was put an ankle monitor
Yes.
on them if you think that they're not going to show up to court. Now, having an ankle monitor on you is not pleasant. I'm not saying it's pleasant. Okay? It's uncomfortable. It's tight. Could hurt sometimes. Hard to shower, hard to put clothes on.
It's so much better than
But
being
it's
in
better
detention.
than the alternative of sitting in a jail cell.
Yeah.
Okay? So given the two bad alternatives, I would take an ankle bracelet all day long.
I would too.
Now, according to new data available in Track's Quick Facts detention data tool, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement is now monitoring. They have 227,508 immigrants using what they call the ATD technology, which is the alternate technology detention technology. The alternate to detention technology.
There you go.
There we have it.
Alternate to
Also known
to
as
detention.
the ankle bracelet.
Yes.
All right, I like to call it the ankle bracelet.
yes,
That's
a
a
lot
tongue
easier.
twister. Now, at the end of April of this year, 19,500 immigrants were in detention. 227,000 were walking around with an ankle bracelet. That's a pretty, compared to what it used to
Right.
be. I said, that's not so bad. Now, this data is coming at a time when the Biden administration is working hard to reduce the number of people detained for immigration and is working with Congress to reduce the number of immigration beds and change to these ankle bracelets, which I've been saying for a long time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling anyone it's pleasant. I'm just saying it's more pleasant than sitting
Yes.
in jail. Now, some other highlights from this Syracuse Institute, Track Monitoring Institute. 68% of the people still being held in immigration jail have never committed a crime. That's 13,445 out of 19,502. So if the only arguments made to put somebody in jail is to say we want to make sure they show up to their court, we want to make sure they're not a danger to society. So if almost 70% have never committed a crime, none of them are a danger to society. And it's a lot cheaper to put an ankle bracelet on than put them in jail.
And way more humane.
Except the United States has contracts with these jails and has to fill them up. And we've talked about it time and time again. The immigration detention system in the United States is run by private companies. It's a money-making proposition. They have contracts with the United States of America. They have to put immigrants in these beds to make money. The United States does it. And then these jails try to detain these immigrants as cheaply as possible with the worst conditions, the worst food, the worst medicine, the worst living conditions that are as tolerable as can be under the United States Constitution, because they're in it to make a buck.
Right.
So all these companies, they're making money by jailing people. So I give credit to Biden that they want to reduce the number of jail cells. They should use these ankle bracelets. As I said, it's better than the alternative. Maybe in the future there's something even more humane.
I'm
I don't
sure.
know. I don't know the technology behind it. I just know of these two alternatives. But that's a terrible number. 70% of
Almost
people sitting in a
70%.
jail who never committed a crime. The largest detention facility is in Lumpkin, Georgia. They're holding 1,095 people. And Lumpkin, Georgia has the largest number of ICE detainees so far in fiscal year 2022, averaging 1,095 per day.
Man.
Yeah. And Harlan, Texas, by the way, area has the largest number of ICE's alternatives to detention monitoring program. And by the way, if you remember, we talked about last week about how ICE, when you're in a sanctuary city, you think you're safe if you go to jail on a minor offense. But now ICE is getting around the local government from calling ICE. They have private databases that they're looking in also, according to statistics, and we talked about this last week, that they're picking people up using private databases on who's in jail.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And today, Russia has doubled down on the reason why they went to Ukraine to denazify.
What?
Denazify Ukraine. You know what the real reason is? I don't know if this is the real reason or not. I saw an interesting video. I have no idea because you don't know what's in Putin's head. But one of the arguments why Russia went into Ukraine is that Russia does not have a warm weather port, meaning that all of their ships have to go out from St. Petersburg, which ice is over, or way out in the Pacific. But they don't have a warm weather port to trade goods and services to become a real superpower, because most of their ports ice up over the winter. So they wanted to take over the southern portion of Ukraine, which seems to be what their military goals are, to be able to use all of the warmer weather ports for year-round shipping.
Kind of makes sense.
I don't know. But meanwhile, that was the underlying thought of the video I watched. I said that kind of makes sense to me.
It does.
But because you say, why would they go in? Ukraine.
That's why I was like, I didn't understand.
Ukraine and Russia, they're not doing anything to each other. Like just out of nowhere to come do this. But and now they're using it. The Nazis that they're going to denazify Ukraine. Well, today, the Israeli Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, condemned a recent claim by the Russian Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, that Jewish people are the biggest anti-Semites in the world. The backlash followed an interview Lavrov gave on Sunday to an Italian television journalist who asked him why Russia claims to be denazifying Ukraine when the Ukrainian president is Jewish. Lavrov replied that he thought Hitler himself was Jewish, a claim dismissed by historians, and he said, and then went on to say, for a long time now, we've been hearing the wise Jewish people say that the biggest anti-Semites are the Jews themselves. Now, the Prime Minister of Israel, Naftali Bennett, said that he viewed Lavrov's remarks with the utmost severity, saying that the comments were untrue and their intentions are wrong. The goal of such lies is to accuse the Jews themselves of the most awful crimes in history, including the Holocaust, killing 6 million Jews, which were perpetrated against them, and thereby absolve Jews' enemies of responsibility. So, separately, Lapid said that Lavrov's comments were both an unforgivable and outrageous statement, as well as a terrible historical error. Yeah, the Jews didn't kill themselves.
Right.
6 million Jews didn't kill themselves, and Hitler was not Jewish. There is going around the internet in like far right or far left, very anti-Semitic. Nobody knows who Hitler's grandfather was on his father's side. So Hitler's grandfather on his father's side's unknown. So there's always these rumors that, he must have been Jewish or something.
What?
But nobody knows for a fact.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, but nobody knows for a fact whether that's true or not. Nobody's ever determined who his grandfather is. But they know all of his grandmother and his grandparents from his mother's side were not Jewish. So he was not Jewish by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a absolute rumor. But Russia is using that as a pretext to invade Ukraine. And the beat goes on.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well, Jews have been accused of everything.
Now, including killing
killing themselves now. Yeah. Now, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, she was in the Ukraine on Sunday. She was the senior most official to meet with President Zelensky. Remember, the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense was there a week earlier. She was joined by a dozen senior House Democrats on the trip, including Representatives Gregory Meeks of New York and Adam Schiff of California. The lawmakers spent 3 hours on the ground in Kiev. This time, Zelensky didn't announce they were coming till after they left. Remember last time Zelensky announced that they were on their way?
And I was like,
that's pretty scary for them. Yeah. So speaking to reporters Sunday at a news conference in Poland after it was let out that she was in Kiev, Pelosi said her discussion with Zelensky centered around security, humanitarian and economic assistance, and eventually rebuilding Ukraine. America stands with Ukraine. We stand with Ukraine until victory is won, and we stand with NATO. Last week, responding to pleas from Zelensky, a group of 40 nations gathered by the United States and Germany agreed to streamline and expedite delivery of weapons to Ukraine. On Thursday, the U.S. House of Representatives passed legislation that would allow Biden to use a World War II era law known as the Lend-Lease Act of 1941 to lend military equipment to the Ukraine. Biden has also requested Congress for a $33 billion supplemental funding bill to aid Ukraine over the next several months. Europe is about to agree to no longer accept gas, oil, and coal from Russia, cutting off Russia's largest purchaser of their natural resources. And quite frankly, it just gets worse and worse and worse. The suffering there gets worse and worse and worse. If you believe the news reports, you don't know what's going on the battlefield. But if you read the news reports are either saying they're at a standstill between Russia and Ukraine, or there's other news reports that are saying that Ukraine is pushing Russia back at least 20, 30 miles in the last 2-3 days from where they were a week ago on that East Coast front. And in coronavirus, Jonathan, it's getting late.
Yeah.
In coronavirus, former White House coronavirus response task force coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx told CBS on Sunday morning that the U.S. should prepare for a new surge in COVID. It's back.
Oh, because it's summer.
It's back. Well, she says COVID's going to increase in the summer in the South, and that it increases in the winter in the North, and that she has been following data out of South Africa. And apparently whatever happens in South Africa is like a preview of what happens in the United States.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why that is. I'm not making a joke about it, but whatever happens in South Africa with COVID happens in the United States months later. It's like the off-Broadway show coming to Broadway.
Right.
I don't know why that is. I wish I knew. I understood it better. But whatever happens in South Africa happens in the U.S. months later.
How the heck did they even get that type of research though?
But the historic trend is since COVID started, whatever happens in South Africa happens in the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah, Birx said she closely follows the data out of South Africa, which has recently seen a rise in new COVID cases. And she said each of these surges are about 4 to 6 months apart. That tells me that the natural immunity wanes through the general population after 6 months, and that another surge is about to happen.
Oh man.
Oh man.
All the parties, the day parties and rooftop parties.
Yeah. Well, we gotta get to
Fuzzy
Monday. We got some Fuzzy Monday animal stories. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So this is what you were talking about, your Paw-Casso. I can't. Paw-Cassos.
Yes, Paw-Cassos.
Yes, beginning May 27th. Yep, these dogs are painters. Some very talented puppies are being recognized in a special online auction to support the Tripods Foundation. This Livingston, Texas nonprofit serves three-legged animals and their people by providing animal amputee education.
Oh,
that's very nice. You know, when an animal's amputated, it's very it's sad.
It's so sad.
Very nice that somebody would take care of that type of animal. Renee Agredano is the organizer's founder. She says, whether you care for a cat, a dog, a rabbit, a rat, or any other four-legged creature who's about to face limb loss, we show them that 3 and even 2-legged animals can do amazing things if given a chance. And it all started in 2018 when Natasha Bagley had a German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd lost a leg, and she taught the German Shepherd how to paint.
Wow.
And Bagley said, we started selling our artwork to raise money for the Tripods Foundation in 2019.
Those are nice paintings.
Yeah, it was a big hit. And in 2020, the dog unfortunately sadly died.
Oh.
But they're continuing it. And 16 Pooch's paintings raised more than $3,000.
Wow.
Can you imagine one day somebody's going to say, I found a Paw-Casso!
Paw-Casso.
Oh, it's a Paw-Casso, not a Picasso! Damn!
Those are really nice, though.
Let's
Those
go back.
are-
Let me see. Yeah, they're very.
Look at that.
The dogs know how to paint.
That's actually really nice.
How do
What
these
the heck?
dogs know how to?
Right.
They do a better job than me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Look at them.
How do these Paw-Cassos know how to do that?
I love it.
How do they know how to do that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Now the humans supply the paints, the canvas, but the dogs do all the painting.
They supply the talent. The dogs supply the
That
talent.
is a real Paw-Casso.
Love it.
Right. You ever see that? There was an old commercial years ago. It was like where the person like finds a painting in the attic and it says PICAS or PICA, and they're like, honey, I found the Paw-Casso, and then they dust it off and it's like a Picasso MoMA, like somebody different. I don't even remember what it was, what they were selling.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, something like that. And in the video racking up thousands of views on social media, a child ziplining through the rainforest at the Go Adventure Arenal Park in Costa Rica.
I don't know what I would do with this.
I was there in Arenal and I went ziplining. I don't know if I was at the Go Adventure one, but I was there.
Look at this.
And he hits a sloth. Where is this?
Look.
Ooh.
Yo, I don't know.
Let's do it again with sound. What is that sloth doing there?
It's moving.
Let's do it with sound. Can we do it
I
again
don't
with
know
sound?
what I would do, y'all. Oh man, I don't know what I would do.
Don't worry. Yeah.
It's a sloth.
Look at it, and he's just chilling.
Yeah.
Look at him moving.
Don't worry. Where did she jump?
Look how he's looking at him.
I would be
I would be
freaking out. You took the words right out of my mouth, yo. I would be
No
freaking
way.
out. I don't think I'm going to go ziplining in Costa Rica
That is
anytime
scary.
soon. Yeah. And then, where was this? I don't know where. Oh, this was in Guerrero Negro, Mexico. A gray whale took a group of tourists on a boat ride of their lives. Lori Barr, a woman purportedly behind the camera in a clip shared last month with Viral Hog, said she and other tourists on a boat trip played with the great whale for about 2 hours, and then all of a sudden the great whale took the entire boat on its back and started going.
Oh hell no!
And we have video of that too. I would never go. I would never go on a
I
whale
thought about
watching
you
after
too, because
this.
didn't you go whale watching before?
Yeah, but the whale never took the boat. The whale never took the boat.
Look at that.
Let's see the video. That's a picture of the boat
On top of
on
the
top
whale's
of the whale.
back. Look at what?
What the heck is this whale doing?
Nah, man.
Do we have the video though, or just we have the pictures? Well, according to, okay, well something happened, but according to if we saw the video, Barra would have said she's pushing on the side. Oh my God, she's moving us. She's totally moving us. Oh my God, she's moving us! Screaming. I would
Yeah.
be screaming too.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
Okay, here, watch now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we don't have the sound of her screaming. That was
So scream for her.
there's a whale! but that would freak me out too, right?
Yeah. Anytime like a whale gets super close to a boat,
Yeah.
nah. I mean,
All right, we have time for one more fuzzy animal story. Yo, I'm gonna let you pick left or right. This one.
yes.
All right. A woman's beloved cat Chai was sick and died young. So she spent $25,000 to clone her companion out of pure love. Kelly Anderson told the Sun News that she couldn't be happier with her decision, despite the daily influx of hate mail on social media and a scathing letter from PETA. Chai was just 5 years old when he died March 2017. Anderson said, I just remembered having a conversation with my roommate, who was a vet tech, at some point that night about cloning. I started doing a lot of research and looked into Viagen a lot. I called the second day they opened the next morning. The process from there was basically getting my vet to work with them to get a skin biopsy. 4 years later, Anderson has a new kitten that she named Belly, and it's an exact clone of her old cat, although, the nature versus nurture, Anderson said Belly's personality is completely different from Chai. Even though it's the same DNA. Yeah, completely different personality.
So what does that mean?
That means it's nurture over nature, not nature over nurture. Right? Maybe the first cat was in a pet store in a cage for 3 months. Who knows? This cat came right from the test tube right to.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. With so many stray cats.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of stray cats in this world.
$25,000.
Even if it was free, there are, and you don't have.
There's not a lot of stray cats that look like that, though.
Yeah, but but there's so many cats in this world, so many unloved animals in this world.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Go find an animal, and she says it's not even the same personality.
Right. So
you don't even have the same cat. You agree with me, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You agree with me, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go adopt a cat.
Yeah.
All right. And in this edition of TikTok Time, I answer questions about J visas, waiting 2 years for a green card, and undocumented employment and filing taxes. Let's watch. 14 and 11 equals 25 months. That means you satisfied the 2-year home residence requirement. It does not have to be consecutive, just has to add up to more than 2 years outside of the United States. You're good to go. Thumbs up. The process to get a green card for your U.S. citizen spouse in another country is at least 18 to 24 months right now. So in the last question, the person came on a fiancé visa and wanted to leave. I said, why? Because now you're going to wait 2 more years to re-enter the United States because of the process of getting a green card through marriage. Better off you came on a fiancé visa, adjust your status in the United States. It's much faster. You can get a green card in a year or less, and you're with your spouse. You're not separated. In most cases, it would not affect you getting your green card because if you're eligible to adjust your status, it would only be at this point through marriage to a U.S. citizen or having a son or daughter who's a U.S. citizen file for you to adjust your status. Either way, unlawful employment, undocumented employment is forgiven in both of those 2 applications. All other applications you would do would require you to most likely do a provisional waiver, go home and come back, and that would most likely be through a parent filing for you. And when you go to the U.S. Embassy to get your green card, undocumented employment in the United States is not a bar to getting a green card at the U.S. Embassy. All right, it's meat and potatoes time.
Let's eat.
This is when we do the meat and potatoes of the show. Let's do it. All right, Betty from Cleveland, Ohio. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Brad?
Good. What's going on?
I have a question. My boyfriend's from France. I'm a U.S. citizen. We're looking to get married, and he wants to get a marriage green card. We want to get one. But in his background, he has a dismissed PCS. And
What's a dismissed PCS? I don't know what that means.
Possession of a controlled substance.
Okay, but it's dismissed.
It's dismissed.
Okay, so that means he was arrested and it was no conviction.
Correct.
Okay, so that's fine.
Okay, so, but the attorney we were talking to was saying, like, you're under oath and you have to admit to, if you had any type of criminal crime or anything. Is that would you be lying if you said it was just dismissed?
You would be telling the truth. I got arrested and the charges were dismissed against me.
Okay, and they can't go any further than that because
they can ask you all you want, but the bottom line is it doesn't matter. The charges against me were dismissed because they were not able to prove anything. Period. You don't have to say anything more than that. Your case is dismissed.
Okay, that's what we were trying to.
short of that, I don't know how else to answer that question. That you're just telling the truth.
Okay, because I was just wondering about the application process, because she was just telling us depending on who's interviewing you, if they try to dig into that, like,
They could ask everything they want, and the answer is, I was arrested, the charges were dismissed.
Okay, that's it.
That's the answer.
Okay,
All right.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Let's go to Christian in Washington, D.C. Hi, Christian.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah. Good evening. I lost my green card the last 2 months ago, and I'm confused on what to do.
You lost your green card 2 months ago?
Yes, sir.
So when you say you lost your green card, you had a 10-year card?
I don't understand.
You had a 10-year green card? When did you get your green card?
Yeah, I got it 10 years last year.
All right. So you're gonna go online to uscis.gov, and you're going to download what's called an I-90 form. Fill out the I-90 form. Pay $540. Mail it to immigration at the address on the form, and they will mail you a new green card.
That's it.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Good luck. By the way, we just had a whole bunch of calls drop, so I don't know what happened to our phones, but call back. We only have 2 people on hold. I don't know what happened to everybody. But call back. We have open lines now. I don't know what happened to everybody. They all, either everyone hung up in, it must have dropped somehow, because everyone just doesn't hang up all at once.
Right.
All right, so definitely call back, 1-800-529-5465, international +1 212-227-8933. Lots of open lines now. Let's go to Anna in Chicago.
Hi, Brett.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? I have some questions regarding the H3 status. Is the H3 status allowed to work fully remote?
Where are you going to be working remote?
From a different state.
You could, I guess, I would say that you should be working at least partly in the office, simply because if you're going to be working remote all the time, it would defeat the purpose of you having to enter the United States for training. Then you can work remote from whatever country you originally came from.
Okay.
Okay.
The other question is, Is it allowed to transfer employer?
I'm sorry?
Is it possible to transfer to a different employer?
That you could always change your status. You could always change your employers.
Okay. And my last question is, can H3 overstay adjust status to a marriage with a U.S. citizen?
If you marry a U.S. citizen, overstay on your H3 visa, you would be able to adjust your status and get a green card.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Lots of thoughts going through that woman's head. Apparently she doesn't like working where she is, but wants to be, I heard maybe the boyfriend in the background.
Right.
I heard the man in the background.
I heard him.
It's probably the future husband. Let's go to Franklin in Newark.
Yeah, brother, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Brother, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
My question is this. I applied for Vawa, right?
Right.
So then I applied for a rental assistance from the government.
Uh-huh.
So for a long time they didn't approve it. So but all of a sudden I just received a call from them. They said, "Oh, they approve it."
Great.
So I don't know if
as a VAWA applicant you could receive government assistance. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, because I applied for a loan before, right? They said I'm not a citizen, so that's why
a loan is from a private bank. That's different than government assistance.
No, that the loan is a government loan, the XBSC loan.
I don't know what that is, but usually your loan, even a loan through the government, usually comes through a bank. It's not the government lending you directly. It's always through a bank being the middleman. But the government assistance, absolutely. I can't help you with a loan. I'm not a loan expert.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm just like, I just want to know if that means that my Vawa is being approved or...
No, it just means that you have a prima facie determination that you can accept government assistance.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
Let's go to Headley in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Headley.
Hi, Brad. Good
Hi,
evening.
how are you?
I'm good. I just called to ask a few questions about a case that I have. My wife filed for my son, who is in Jamaica. The 10th of May coming will be a full year. The only thing that we heard from them, it was in September of last year, the 18th of September, that they are reviewing his case.
Yeah,
And
your
that's
wife's a citizen.
Yes, she is.
And how old is your son? He's under 21?
Yeah, he's 18 now.
Yeah.
Well,
he's under the Child Status Protection Act. The unfortunate thing is that because Jamaica's so backed up, even if the case was approved today, it's going to be at least another year before he gets here. They're taking over a year to prove I-130s, and the consulate in Jamaica is a disaster right now. Probably second to only Haiti, which is worse.
Okay.
So just hang out for a few months. If you don't get an approval by summertime, give me a call back. You should come.
Okay. Quick question. Yeah, I just said someone. I did want him to because he has a visiting. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, he has a visiting visa, so I was wondering if you could travel on it just for the summer, spend about 2 or 3 months, and go back home. If that's okay.
If he chooses to do that, yes. He could also travel for 2 or 3 months, decide to stay and adjust his status.
Repeat for me.
I said he can come for 3 months, decide to stay and adjust his status. You can do that too.
Okay. No, but the thing is, I was like scared because he wanted to come for the Christmas, but I was like scared that they turn him back at the.
I mean, anything is possible, but if he's coming to visit, then he should be okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, thanks.
Let's go to Mike in Nashville, Tennessee. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I was calling to ask about is false claiming to be a U.S. citizen a serious situation?
False claim to U.S. citizenship is a very serious situation. It bars you permanently from ever getting a green card. It's automatic deportation, and you could end up in jail and then get deported.
Okay. Is there any way that would be like, can someone still get a green card even if they was truthful about the situation?
I don't know how you're truthful about a false claim to U.S. citizenship. There are laws that if you make a false claim to U.S. citizenship and retract it immediately, then you could still adjust your status. So, for example, if you come into the airport and show a U.S. passport, and the immigration officer looks at it and says, "This ain't real," or "This is not you," and you're like, "Yeah, you're right, it's not," then you retracted it immediately. That may allow you to still get your green card. If it's a situation, I'm just making a story up, I have no idea, because false claims to U.S. citizenship are all, applying for passports or even making a false claim to citizenship on an employment application is a crime.
Yeah, I had a friend, I was asking because I had a friend that come over here as a student, and he lied to get a job, at somewhere, at a little restaurant.
Right. That's if he filled out an I-90 form and signed it, and then worked there for months and months and months. He didn't retract that ever. Then he's got a big problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's go to James in Newark. James.
Yeah. Hello, Rod.
How are you?
I'm good. I have a question. I applied for Vawa January 21st, and they sent me for biometric last month on the 15th. How long does it take me? Is it going to take them to give me a work permit if I file for category C09?
About 6 to 9 months.
those 6 to 9 months. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Ola Funk in Texas.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
My question is, I filed for Vawa sometime November 2020, and I received the prima facie like 2 months later or 3 months later, and the prima facie expired this year, 2022, and I haven't gotten another one. Is this something I should be worried about?
No, but you can apply for an extension of it. You could write them.
Okay. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Fast questions today. Randy in Queens.
Yes, if somebody in 2001 who qualified as a derivative beneficiary of an I-130 and they were under 21, can they qualify for employment-based green card?
Well, okay, so let me get a little more facts. When did the person enter the United States?
In 2001.
2001. But
yeah.
You said they were a beneficiary on an application filed when?
That same year. They were under 21. They were under 21 at that time.
What was filed in 2001?
An I-130 petition. The mom filed an I-130.
By who?
By her sister.
Okay. And the child, was the child here in December of 2000?
No.
No, because the child had to be physically here in December 2000 in order to qualify.
Would it be the mom that was physically present?
If the mom was present,
right,
and the child was going to qualify under the mom's petition filed by the sister, which is his aunt, then the answer is correct. Yes. If the child is now going to independently request 245I on a new application that child is doing, he or she had to be here on December 21st, 2000.
So even if they can't qualify if they weren't here?
Correct.
The mom was here.
I understand that. Would have qualified on the F4 petition, but not on a new application.
So they can't get the employment-based green card.
I think you need a consultation. The answer is they don't qualify for 245I. Hold on. Let's go to Dwayne in Birmingham, Alabama.
Hey, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm not bad. All right. I've got an interview coming up the 24th of this month. But I've got an issue where I've been arrested in Georgia for reckless driving. I didn't cause an accident. I was just pulled over because I was going over the speed limit. But I got a criminal lawyer on the case. And I asked him to get something from the court for me to take to the immigration interview. And he said he can't get anything because the grand jury hasn't indicted the case as yet. So they have nothing there.
You're not going to, you have to have the case dismissed. If you have an open case and going for an adjustment, they're not going to adjudicate your immigration case.
Oh, wow. So there's no chance. So what you suggest I do?
What I'm saying is if you have an open case, immigration is not going to make a decision on your immigration case, and they could deny it saying you have an open case.
Oh, wow. But should I still go to the interview?
Yes. And bring proof that it's pending.
Okay, bring proof that it's pending, like get it from the court. That's what I asked the lawyer, but he said there's nothing he can do because...
Then get the arrest records from the cops. Something.
All right, thanks, sir.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Let's go to Brianna in Queens.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I have a question. My husband is a citizen, and he's applying for me. But on the application, I pay my taxes, and it asked me if I ever work in the United States, which I did. I want to know if that's going to be a problem.
Well, if your husband is a U.S. citizen and you worked undocumented, that does not prevent you from getting a green card. So tell the truth. The only way that would prevent you from getting a green card is lying about your undocumented work. So you didn't do anything. As far as you getting a green card, you did nothing wrong.
Okay, so it won't affect me. I put on my application that I babysit.
You're fine.
And
Tell
I
the
work
truth.
at a restaurant. Okay.
Tell the truth. You're fine.
All right. Thank you, Brad.
You're welcome. Good luck. All right. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you can always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. You can drop me a DM. I'll try to answer your question as best as I can. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. We're now doing an hour and a half, hour, 45-minute show. You don't like hour and 45 minutes of us? Then follow us at Instagram at Brad Show Live. You can also follow us at TikTok, our fastest growing social media platform. Leave your questions in the comments, and you may get a personalized video directing right at you, answering your legal question for the whole world to see.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, I will speak with James Lamprey, the creator of the online cooking forum Fun Foods, about how his passion for travel and learning about different cultures led him to become a social media influencer with millions of viewers from around the globe enjoying his extraordinarily creative recipes.
Yeah,
Yes.
can't wait for that. And now, Spar and Bernstein client Letitia tells us about her experience working with the firm.
All of us are done through Mr. Bernstein. It started from my mom right up to the siblings. So we are so grateful for Mr. Bernstein. The ins and outs takes us almost 3 years.
And now you're with your children?
Yes, I'm with them.
How does it feel to be with your kids now?
Oh, it's joyful, joyful. So I'm heading on to the next phase now. Thank you, Mr. Bernstein.
Oh,
What are you smiling about?
I like that. That was cute.
What?
That was cute.
What was cute?
Like, you know, her story and then you guys hugging and all that.
Sure,
yeah,
I love her.
loved
Why
it.
not?
I know. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I wish I was there. I wanted to hug her too.
All right. You ready for social media check-in?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Sorry, my mic is on.
What?
Okay, no, I was making sure my mic was on, but it's on.
I thought maybe you spilled some coffee or something.
No.
Okay.
All right, our first question comes from Liana Brown, Facebook VIP member. If I work out of status and I get a check for my pay, can I put my employer's name on the I-485 application if I check the box that asks if I've ever worked? I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Will this affect my case?
Yes, you can do it. Yes, you should put your employer's name. No, it will not affect your case.
Brave Girl on YouTube. Can a U.S. citizen apply for his adult son who's already here in America with his family? And how long will it take?
Yes, but it'll take, if they're married, 15 years. If they're not married, about 8 years, and we probably have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back.
Okay, Mr. Tusk on YouTube. Would it be safe for a green card holder father to apply for his kids who are also in the States, but their mother included them in an asylum application?
Absolutely.
Omugabi Nsamba on Facebook. What could be the problem for not receiving a 797 notice for my I-130 and 485, which I submitted early March 2022?
Lost in the mail, slow immigration, mailed to the wrong address. You didn't file the papers right, and eventually you'll get a kickback rejection letter.
How's the way to check? Is there any way to check?
Yeah, see if your check got cashed.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Alice Thomas Golding on Facebook. My husband's been waiting 120 days for his green card interview. What can we do?
Wait more. You're going to wait at least a year.
Luis Gustavo on YouTube. I had an I-539 denied in October 2020, but getting married now. Now I have my I-360 and 485 pending. Got my AP last week. Is it safe to travel despite the I-539 denial?
Yes, it's okay to travel.
Veronica Wade on Facebook. Can my biological sister adjust
Wait. She got the advanced parole through the Asylum or through?
Says now I have my I-360 and 485 pending.
Oh,
got
yes,
my
if you
AP
got it through the
last week.
I-360 and I-485, yes, you can travel. Okay, just wanted to make sure it wasn't through the Asylum.
Yeah, okay. Veronica Wade on Facebook. Can my biological sister adjust her status? She's currently here on a visitor's visa and I'm a citizen.
Not through you.
M. Wendy Gibson on Facebook. My 14-year-old niece is being sponsored by her dad and U.S. citizen wife. Her mom wants her to return to her birth country to finish her schooling. How long can the child stay out of the U.S. as a green card holder?
Less than 6 months, but if you want them to stay out for up to 3 years, do a re-entry permit.
Devai Prasad Kadri on YouTube. I have a pending I-485 and received a 485 fee waived notice. What does this mean for my application?
It means they waived your fee.
Daryl Winnabout on YouTube. My I-539 change of status up to F1 has been pending for 7 months now. Case status says fingerprints were taken. Why is it taking so long?
Immigration's way backed up.
Sammy Adventure on YouTube. If someone was approved for travel documents while his Vawa is still pending, can immigration not allow him back in the U.S. for any reason?
They can choose not to let him back in if he's a terrorist, if he's a drug dealer, if he stays out of the country for a decade. But if you go for a short, innocent, brief trip abroad and you have nothing that makes you inadmissible, you will be allowed to return.
Prudence Ogbavir on Facebook. I filed for Vawa. My PD was on 01/21/22. How long does it take to get an EAD for C09 category? Biometrics were done on 15th of March.
You'll get, at the end of the summer, you'll get it.
Zongrana Jason Hassan on Facebook. If someone has asylum removal proceedings and also a strong Vawa pending with prima facie, what's the best option to take?
Vawa.
Sophia on YouTube. I'm here with my kids and husband. We're out of status. Is there anything we can do, or is there anything that can be done for the kids?
Gotta have a consultation.
Nick Roth on YouTube. Can someone with a pending asylum travel to her home country without consequences using her green card she received through marriage to a U.S. citizen after withdrawing the asylum application?
There's still consequences. You made an application that said, I have a fear of returning to my home country because I'm a member of a group that's being persecuted. And then you got married and now you're not being persecuted anymore. You feel comfortable to go home. That could have consequences.
Colonel 313 on YouTube. My brother was deported. Both parents are U.S. citizens. My father in 1990, my mother in 1999. My brother was 17 and a half in 1990. Would that make him a citizen?
No, because that's under the old immigration laws. You had to be, if your parents were married, you had to have had both parents become citizens before you were 18, or one of them, God forbid, pass away before you were 18, or they get divorced and you're living in the custody with the divorced parent who becomes a U.S. citizen. In this particular case, you had one parent who was a citizen, one who wasn't. It seems like they were married, but even if they weren't married, they wouldn't have satisfied any one of those 4 requirements that I just said. The law changed in 2000, so if it was the same facts in 2000, then yes, he would be a citizen, but he falls under the old laws.
Oh, man. Wilfredo Diaz on YouTube. I have a green card through special immigrant, but I applied for asylum and I was denied and placed in removal. If I go to my home country with my green card, will there be any problem when I come back?
There shouldn't be, as long as your removal is off, you reopened it and you're no longer in removal proceedings. You got a green card through special immigrant juvenile, you can travel.
Elizabeth Francis on Facebook. What's the difference between in removal and deportation?
For your purposes, it's the same. Why they say removal and deportation? Prior to 1996, the Immigration Nationality Act said you were in exclusion, which means that you were prevented from coming into the United States, or you were in deportation, which means that you were physically in the United States and they wanted to throw you out. And in 1996, they changed the law and they said, well, from now on, we're using the word removal, whether they're stopping you at the border or they're trying to throw you out. But because of English language, people still use deportation because that's the term that was used for 100 years prior to the change in the law in 1996.
Avion Reed on Facebook. If I respond to a request for evidence and the received date passes the 60 days, what should be done?
Wait.
And last one, RS Khan on Facebook. I want to bring siblings from Afghanistan. My sister is 14 and my brother is 16. Do you know how long it will take for them to get here, and what will be my first steps?
Have a consultation. That would be your first step, because they're not going to let refugees in anymore from Afghanistan, so we got to figure out other ways.
Oh.
All right. James Lamprey is the creator of the online cooking forum Fun Foods, where he shares recipes focused on fun and creative ideas that people at home can recreate. James and I actually met on TikTok. We spoke about how his passion for travel led to his current channel and his global fan base. Let's watch. James Lamprey is the creator of the online cooking forum Fun Foods, where he shares recipes focused on fun and creative ideas that the average person can recreate in his or her own home. A lover of travel and culture, James wanted to share his experiences with the world. His online presence began in 2010. Now, fast forward to over a decade later, and Fun Foods has hundreds of thousands of followers and millions of viewers from around the globe who enjoy James's culinary creations. James and I actually met through TikTok and are finally getting to speak face to face today. So here to discuss his channel, his global fan base, and how to teach me one of his recipes is James Lamprey. Welcome, James, and thank you for coming on Bradshaw Live.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to actually talk to you face to face for once.
Yeah, now it's interesting because we didn't know each other, and you're a very well-known influencer on social media. And one day on TikTok, I noticed you following our channel. And, you know, I see that obviously you were born in the United States of America. What was your interest in following an immigration TikTok?
Good question. So I always love learning different things, and something about the way you were presenting the facts about immigration, I had no clue about. As someone born in this country, obviously I don't spend a lot of time trying to figure out the laws around getting into the country, something that a lot of people who may have immigrated from another country has to really work their way through, and there's a lot to it. So some of the things I found quite interesting, and I just love learning different facts. And I have friends all over the world who I met through being online myself, and some of them even want to come to America to live and work. So these topics actually have on my radar, and I was just like, you know, I really want to learn more about this. So I love the way you present it, and I love learning things.
So what is your immigration background?
For my family, on my mom's side, my great-grandfather immigrated to the United States from Ireland. On my dad's side, he was adopted as a very young kid, and we don't have a great deal of information from that side, so really don't know.
So tell me about your channel, Fun Foods.
Oh, yeah. So I started back in 2010 as a YouTube channel. Actually, I started it, and I originally called it I Heart to Travel because I love traveling. I saw something on the travel channel and about the Christmas markets in Berlin, Germany. And I was like, that looks really cool. That looks like a fun place to go. So I booked a trip to Berlin, Germany, my first place I ever visited outside the United States in 2010. And then I went on Google at the time and just searched like the place I was going to go. And I found a YouTube video of some guy just like videotaping everything from checking in the hotel, walking down the street and seeing like different restaurants like Burger King and, you know, Starbucks. They had all that stuff. So it was pretty interesting just seeing that before I even stepped foot in the other country. And I said, you know, hey, that was pretty cool. This guy did that and shared his experience. And when I arrived there, I started to share my experience. And if even to this day, I keep my first YouTube videos on way back from 2010, and it's Berlin, Germany, at Christmas markets. It was horribly shot, but, you know, I keep it on there as a reminder that we grow from there, you know.
So what was your career before you got into this?
My career before this was delivery driver, driving a truck. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing career change.
Yeah.
So now you started traveling and you started putting up these videos on YouTube. How did your travel open up your palate? And, you know, what are some of the dishes through your travels around the world you tried that you enjoyed?
I've always tried to experience something different from each place I went to. And when I went to Ireland, and then I ended up going to Scotland and England. I had friends who I met through YouTube who live in Scotland. They invited me in, and she actually cooked me haggis. And I got to try haggis and blood pudding, which is black pudding. It's like minced different parts of the body put together and served in like a sheep's stomach, essentially. It was very interesting. I thought that would be like the worst thing I would have, but then I tried the black pudding, or also called blood pudding, and that was way worse than the haggis.
So how did you turn your career from I'm just making videos to now this is a full-time occupation for you, being an influencer and learning to be a chef?
Mostly by accident, really. I started traveling, just sharing that stuff. And then one time on my YouTube channel, I decided to make food videos because I enjoy food as well. And I just put it up there to see what happens. And before I knew it, the food videos were doing better than even the travel videos. And it kind of grew from there. And it didn't happen overnight. I mean, it took time, you know.
Did you always love cooking, or this is something that
you got later in life. When did you realize I'm really good at this?
The funny thing is I still haven't realized it. It's not even like the really good cook. I just love making things. One of the things I think was the most eye-opening for me was, this was years ago on YouTube, I had made little cupcakes that looked like graduation caps. And this kid put in the comments that, hey, thank you so much for this suggestion. My brother is graduating. Me and my mom were looking for something to make a dessert. And I showed her this and she wants to make this now. And I was like, that's really cool. I helped somebody with an idea for their graduation party. I said, that's really cool, you know? And it was very rewarding to be able to help somebody in some way.
Do you remember your first food video?
I made a Kit Kat ice cream cake, and it was just like a round cake. I used like a springform pan. I put Kit Kats all the way around in a circle, and I put ice cream in between, softened ice cream, put it in between there, and it was pretty good. So I think that was one of my first ones that I made.
I can't imagine that putting Kit Kats and ice cream would be a bad combination.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You're known for making these huge, giant creations. You came up with a giant peanut butter cup. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this was years ago. I made it with a camera that cost me about $70 from Walmart. No lighting equipment, no sound equipment. One of those videos I cringe when I look back at. I didn't even show my face in the camera. I just showed like my hands of how to make something. And I'm like, now add the chocolate. I sounded so boring, but people liked it. So,
what are some of the other giant foods you made that's like people love?
I made Mountain Dew ice cream, which actually was a huge hit. On Facebook, I got nearly 30 million views on that one back then. The Mountain Dew ice cream was a funny thing. That weekend before, I was actually at my brother's house, who drinks a lot of Mountain Dew, and we were eating ice cream cake. And I just said, Mountain Dew ice cream. I wonder what this would taste like if I can make Mountain Dew ice cream. And because I have made a lot of different recipes with Mountain Dew, they reached out to me and said they wanted me to be the person helping them make the cookbook.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. So it took a while, but we did it, and a little back and forth. About 6 or 7 of my recipes are in that cookbook. And they took recipes from like all of their fans. So someone would submit a recipe, they would take that one, but they had me as like their main contributor.
At what point did you say, hey man, I don't need to driving anymore or do my regular job. I can do this for a living. At what point did that happen?
When the pay is better than the other pay. That's basically, yeah. When I started YouTube channel, 2010, I didn't even know people got paid to do this. I started making videos, and then when my videos started doing well, Google reached out to me and said, hey, we're going to start paying you to do this. And I'm like, you're paying me to do what I was doing for free? I was like, okay, sure, right? Like the first month I got like a check for 7 cents, and I was like, oh, wonderful. Guess I'll keep my day job. But through time, it's grown.
What kind of reaction you get from around the world? Does the reactions differ from people in the United States, from people in South America, Europe, Asia?
I do, and because I know you're probably familiar with YouTube Shorts have come out as a way to kind of like combat TikTok. And YouTube Shorts originally came out in India before it came out in the US. And someone told me that it was going to happen. So I started putting Shorts videos up on YouTube, and a lot of my audience was from India. Wow. And it was a different audience, and they like different things. So it's hard because you're trying to put stuff out that people in India will like, and stuff that people in the US like, stuff that people in Europe will like. But I think overall, people are always interested in what other cultures do. And it's not like somebody's not going to watch me if I put out like it's called Kofi, which is like an Indian ice cream thing. It's just a fun thing,
Now, you had an issue, a controversy in the UK about bacon. Tell us about this.
Okay, so I made a funny little TikTok video a while back because when I was in the UK, I would order bacon, let's say a bacon cheeseburger. And they use a different kind of bacon. It's called like back bacon. It's more like a ham. And so they don't cook their bacon as crispy as we do. So whenever I ordered a bacon cheeseburger, I'm like, this isn't a bacon cheeseburger, So as a joke, I made a TikTok video saying how Americans cook their bacon compared to how British people cook their bacon. And when I did the British part, I just basically let the bacon touch the grill, flipped it over and picked it up and go, oh no, I burnt the bacon, And then like ours, when I baked ours, I just did it. And so much so that it's like completely black from the burnt and the smoke detectors going off and everything, just like kind of an exaggeration, but it's funny.
And people flipped out about that.
Yeah, some of them did. And it's like, it's a joke,
And you appeared on Good Morning America. How was that experience?
That was pretty good. It was during the pandemic. They saw my TikToks and they wanted me to make a milkshake that I had made before. And it was Cinnamon Toast Crunch milkshake. And they wanted me on to show how to make that. And I did. It was a lot of fun.
Do you have any like really fun themed foods for the holidays?
All the time. So my favorite is Halloween, because you can do just about anything. Christmas would be like number 2 on that list. I do other things. New Year's, I've done things. Valentine's Day, July 4th, whatever the holiday is.
What's your favorite Halloween recipe?
I made some edible glass cupcakes, which are just hard candy, essentially. Clear hard candy. You break it. It looks like glass shards. Put a little bit of red food coloring on there, and you can stick those into cupcakes, and it looks like you're eating a cupcake that has glass in it.
How can people follow you on social media?
Okay, so on TikTok, which is my largest audience, it's Official Fun Foods. And on most of my other platforms, it is Fun Foods YT, which is Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. On YouTube, it's just Fun Foods.
It's amazing that you've made this huge success. It just blows my mind. And you're all self-taught. And millions and millions of people are watching your videos. I'm really happy that I was able to meet you and you shared some of these amazing recipes and, of course, your career with us.
So tomorrow, Jonathan, I'm making ice cream with James.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh,
there
look
I
at
am.
you.
There I am in the kitchen.
Wow.
They put me to work.
That's pretty awesome.
James said, "What's your favorite?" I said, "I love ice cream." He goes, "That's what we're making then."
Wow. Okay. Did you bring some for us?
I have it in my freezer, but I've eaten most of it.
Oh.
Most of it.
Okay.
Most of it. All right, so join us tomorrow for the second part with me and James cooking. But right now we're going to be doing speed round. Let's do it. All right. You ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
If a child was adopted by a U.S. citizen, is that child automatically a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
How long does the U.S. Embassy keep the passport after the interview?
Anywhere from a few days to months and months and months.
How safe is it to travel with a Vawa advance parole?
Safe.
Can someone with a U.S. passport take me across the border if I'm seeking asylum?
No.
Do I need to carry my green card with me at all time?
No.
What visa should I apply for to immigrate to the U.S. as a nurse?
You can do an EB3.
My father filed for his underage daughter and wife. Which one will process faster?
Underage daughter and wife are the same.
If my spouse is a citizen but I'm not, can I have a child in the U.S.?
Yes.
Can an international student apply for asylum with a valid reason?
Of course.
Can I get a student visa if my U.S. citizen fiance is sponsoring?
Yes.
Oh, whoa.
There we are! I don't know what happened.
I was like, did we get it?
I was in shock. A couple things. I just want to clarify.
Yes.
There is no visa for nurses. They don't qualify for H-1B, except under very special circumstances. So most nurses come under EB3s for green cards. So that's why I said EB3. Because there is no EB3 visa. EB3 is the job sponsorship skilled category.
Gotcha.
Okay, and yes, your fiance could file your fiance could file for a student visa for you, but you have to overcome the immigrant intent portion of it. You're better off filing a fiance visa.
Right.
I answered the question exactly as phrased.
That's it.
Can it be done? Yeah, it can. Will it likely be approved? No.
Right.
You would probably do a fiance visa before you do a student visa.
All right.
All right, so there it is.
We did it.
Comments of the day. Elizabeth Francis says, Yo-Yo and Uncle Brad are in it to win it.
Yeah.
I like it. pre-comment of the comments of the day.
There you go. All right. All right, guys. Our first comment of the day. This is about the cloned cat story. And Brad and I were actually laughing at this. Jessica Leamy said, give me the money. I can meow and lick my hands. Okay?
Yeah, it's $25,000 for the cloned cat.
Yeah. Shoot. Give me the money too. I could do a cat. All right, our second comment of the day. Danny Boy 954 saying, I had 20 mangoes when I was in Jamaica and I want more.
Man likes mangoes.
Okay, what's that about?
I don't know why Danny Boy gets that as comment of the day, but okay, the man likes mangoes. What does that have to do with the price of eggs in China? Danny Boy is liking 20 mangoes in Jamaica.
There you go. The mangoes must be good in Jamaica.
I'm going to tell you something. Those are one of those, all the comments. I'm always, every time I see Danny Boy in the comments, I'm going to say, this boy likes mangoes.
He likes his mangoes.
He likes his mangoes.
He likes his mangoes,
Yeah,
and only
right.
from Jamaica. All right, our third comment of the day. We have Dion Reed saying, these people call Brad and he tells them the truth, yet the lawyer they hired, they seem to not have any trust or faith in them who collected their money. Isn't this sad? Big up to Brad. You're real as real can be. Respect.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
I agree with that.
Yep.
It's like...
Yep.
You trust the person that's giving you free advice more than the person that's taking your money.
Yep.
What does that tell you? All right, our last comment of the day.
Yes.
Oh, you said it already.
What?
Elizabeth Francis saying Yo-Yo and Uncle Brad are in it to win it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I already said it.
See?
Damn.
If he lets me do my job.
Damn. Damn.
It's all good.
All right, everybody. We'll see you all tomorrow for Tuesday tea. Hope you're a little thirsty. We'll see you then. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?